Hoy tuve la audiencia con el WBA para el torneo que habían dicho. Pienso que una falta de respeto para mi país, para mi familia, para mis fans.
So, Yordenis Ugas is pretty upset at the WBA for how he's being treated. Yordenis Ugas had just been ordered to face his mandatory shortly after his fight with Manny Pacquiao. You know, he didn't even get a chance to enjoy himself as a true champion in the glamour division in the sport of boxing, which is the welterweight division. Now the WBA is making him face a young, talented prospect, El Monte, sorry if I butchered his name, Yordenis, who is 13-0. He ain't been around too long, and Yordenis Ugas is pretty much scratching his head stuff. Why am I the only WBA super champion that has to face a mandatory? Ugas is upset. Check out what Ugas had to say. It is disrespectful for the WBA to have a tournament to define their champion when I am the super champion. I just beat a legend and they have a victory over the regular champion, Jamal James. WBA mandatory fights are always to fight for the regular title. I fought Abel and got promoted when Pacquiao was out of the sport. I have 3 questions for the WBA. Which super champion in history has had a mandatory fight for the WBA super title? And these are facts, I believe, all up until recently. With everything and the reduction of the titles that the WBA has, what super champion has a mandatory fight imposed? Even though he's on his way to a 3 championship fight unification. And this in reference to a potential fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. This is what Ugas is talking about, and this is what he also posted on his stories on social media. What should be next? Because Ugas has a fight with Yordenis that they're trying to mandate. But he proceeds to say that the guys, he names fighters that's WBA super champions or was, and they didn't have to fight mandatories. Anthony Joshua, Arsen Gala-Ramirez, sorry if I butchered his name, Dimitri Bivol, Saul Alvarez, Jamel, he got Jamel Chat on here, but it's Jamel Charlo, Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez, Javante Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Dendra Akabev, Naoya Inoue, and Artem Dakaleev. None of these 14 champions have mandatory fights imposed, and their next fight will not unify championship. Why that different treatment with me? So Ugas want to know why he's getting treated like this by the WBA, and this is poor treatment for such a nice guy, Yordenis Ugas. You know, I respect all fighters, but what has Yordenis done in 13 fights, of which 4 have been with fighters with more losses than wins? His grammar kind of messed up here. In only 4 years of his career, that has his biggest victory was 2 months ago against Delorme that I won 5 years ago. So yeah, he's saying, why should I have to fight Yordenis, a guy who ain't even been in pro for barely 4 years, 13 fights, and his biggest win is coming off of a guy a couple of months ago that he beat 5 years ago. To have a shot at the WBA super title and ruin a unification fight. So Ugas is upset. Basically, he's upset that he's been forced to face his mandatory in Yordenis, Eli DeMonte Yordenis. I think Yordenis is a tough fight. I think that's a good fight, but I think Ugas at this point of his career, he's done taking these type of fights and he wants to go for the big fights. He just came off a big fight with Manny Pacquiao, and I think Ugas deserves his shot. You know, I think Ugas deserves his chance to compete against the Terrence Crawfords and the Errol Spences of the world. And then he says, the dream of every fighter is to be a champion, then to unify, and that is my intention that I think I have earned. I am excited to be the first Cuban fighter to fight 3 championships in one night. My team and I will reach that last consequence of our right. Hashtag Spence Ugas, a 3 championship fight between 2 of the world's best welterweights the fans want to see. Thanks. So this is Ugas' direct message to the WBA. And Yordenis Ugas isn't too pleased with the WBA. You know, they gave him a really, shortly after the Manny Pacquiao fight, they gave him a short period of time or was it 90 days to go ahead and make this fight with Yordenis. A fight that really just kind of came out of nowhere for boxing fans. A lot of people was looking at Ugas Thurman, Ugas Spence, Ugas Crawford. You know, Ugas is one of the guys at the top of the division now. And they trying to essentially take that away from him. You know, the politics of boxing is coming back to haunt Yordenis Ugas, man. This is a guy who kind of maneuvered his way through the politics of boxing and somehow landed in front of a Manny Pacquiao. You know, I think Ugas is here for a reason, and I think that the powers that be is trying to take him down from his position, man. You know, they called him an email champion and all this bullshit, but he just proved that he wasn't an email champion. He went out there and soundly beat Manny Pacquiao. So Ugas deserves the credit of a real champion in the sport of boxing. And they not treat him as such. They're not giving Ugas the respect that he deserves. Yordenis Ugas deserves a chance to see what happens next with the Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Is Errol Spence Jr. coming back in time? Is he going to be interested in hopping right in there with Ugas? Who knows? If Terrence Crawford is successful against Sean Porter, will he go that route? We go find out. But yeah, you guys, tell me what you guys think. Yordenis Ugas is being disrespected by the WBA, and he sends a direct message to him. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.